I have apologized to my children a few times, and probably will even more, about breaking up their home. While they don't currently show any outward signs of damage from that choice, I know that later on in life, when everything slows down, when there are no more schools to try to get into, when there are no more good grades to try to make, when there are no new friend groups to try to impress, that it'll probably show up. It's a little selfish, but I'm trying to get out in front of it. All right, put a pin in that. I got my first bike when I was 8 years old. It was a Huffy, white Huffy with red writing on it. And the first thing I noticed when I got out around the other kids was that this bike was not as nice as those bikes. The wheels didn't wheel the way those wheels wheeled. The little grips on the handlebars, they didn't grip quite as nice as those. Matter of fact, within a year, it snapped in the middle, but I had a bike. Then about a year went past and my father showed up with another bike. It was a 10-speed. It was like a truck, if you know what those types of 10 speeds are. It was way bigger than me. It was burgundy and it said True Value across it, which I believe is a hardware store. See, got it from a hardware store. It was big. It was too heavy for me to even handle at that particular time. I couldn't even get my leg over it. It was bigger than me. So it took about 4 years for me to be able to ride it. But those 4 years were 4 years of me watching other kids ride bikes in every neighborhood I was in. They would all be riding their bike. In fact, it was so big that for a couple of those 4 years, I couldn't even keep it where we lived. We had to keep it at my nana house, at my grandmother's house in the basement, because it took up too much room. But then I would get it once we moved into a house big enough. And the kids would say, you know, you don't have a bike? And I would say, yeah, I got a bike. You know, I just can't ride it right now. It's too big or it's broke or whatever excuse it was I gave them. But I would show them the bike. I got a bike. It was when it was time to go clothes shopping. It was being given 2 crisp $20 bills and told, okay, do your thing. And me frantically running around JCPenney trying to find the cheapest things with a name on them that I could possibly find so that at least they would have a name on them. Okay, Levi. Okay, Bugle Boy. Okay, you know, whatever it was at the particular time. And then it was like, all right, black, like really black jeans and really black. I might could do some stonewash, but nah, it's got to be black or dark blue so I could wear them all week with as many shirts as I possibly could. If you know, you know, right? It was the time my father took me shoe shopping. I had just had some all blue Cortez that wore out. I'm talking, they was talking at the bottom. And we went around the whole mall and we wound up at Payless. And he bought me some shoes and I was crying uncontrollably. And he had to yoke me up by my collar in Payless and tell me to calm down. Because I had been telling all of the kids I was going to get a new pair of Cortez. And I showed up with that Payless. Like, I'm scarred to this day over how I was treated. Man. It was like, this isn't a victim story. I'm just telling you what it was. It was wanting some Huaraches, some Nike Huaraches. And my man Quan, who always had nice things, pulling up with the black and purple Huaraches with a new bike. Both. He had a new bike and some black and purple Huaraches, you know. and I was sick. Man, Mike and them always had nice things, and it was having to go over other friends' houses to play video games. It was when the Transformers movie came out, I couldn't go see it, and the movie, I guess, changed some things about the storyline. So when it started coming back on TV, things were different, but it was because of the movie, and I didn't know, and I couldn't join the conversations at school. But acting like I understood, but I didn't understand. Same thing happened with G.I. Joe, I believe. It was Christmas, just wanting some regular G.I. Joes, but instead getting something that wasn't quite G.I. Joe's, and then going down the street to play with my friends' G.I. Joes. So when I was able to buy Jordans, man, I OD'd. Spent my whole paycheck on Jordans. When I was able to get Timberlands, I got them in every color. Once upon a time, my closet was full of Sean John. Okay? Whatever the name brand was, man, I OD'd. As soon as it seemed like girls liked me, I OD'd. I went in. You feel me? One after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And it wasn't until the last couple of years that everything slowed down and kind of quieted down. And then a question entered my mind. What was the rush? What were you chasing, bro? What were you doing? I thought about it. And I got it. Approval. Listen, I could have been anything. I really could have. I could have retired in the military at the highest ranks. I'm actually kind of smart, y'all, for real. I could have been an engineer, a doctor, anything, a teacher. But you know where I felt most comfortable? Joining the music business and chasing the cool kids, just like I have been my whole life. And so I'm hoping that when my children realize what all of these things have done to them, that I can be present, that I can be patient, that I can be accountable, and ready with a real acceptance and apology. My name is MRK SX. This is Confessions of a Failed Family Man. Thank you for listening, watching. Please share, like, subscribe. I'm gonna just keep doing this, y'all. I got music. I make music. If you go to MRKSX.com, you can purchase my latest album, which came out December of last year. It's called Thank You For. New stuff on the way, for sure. You got them on the mailing list. There's merch attached to this video. If you want to support me, I'd appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow.